Motorfest is adding a brand new island. What's going on, fellas? My name is Sid, and welcome back to the Sid Plus channel, a channel you really should consider subscribing to because I've just found something huge. What if I told you I will be revealing something that the crew might not want revealed? Well, they definitely teased it. I'm sure the devs are watching right now thinking, gosh, finally someone found it, but there's been a bit of a leak. See, when the crew Motorfest adds an island, like the one I just drove back from, the NASCAR island, the last time they did it, they added some teasers about that island right here. This billboard that I'm looking at was here the update before the NASCAR island. It teased the NASCAR cars, all three, the Camry, the Camaro, the Mustang, and it teased the NASCAR stadium. This was our first look at the brand new NASCAR stadium, as well as the fact that the billboard was here and there's another billboard just a little bit down the road kind of confirmed that, okay, this is where we're gonna be getting to the new island from, because this is where the bridge ended up. There you go, you can see the other billboard, and it's right in between that where the island eventually ended up being. Now the thing is, last island, they've added an island every year so far. In year 2, year 1 was obviously the main game. Then we got year 2, we got a crazy huge island, Maui. Then for year 3, they were a little cheeky. They added a very, very tiny island, but you know, it had the race creator and it had NASCAR. And technically they added Molokai and Lanai, but technically, what if I told you this time it's looking like it's gonna be more of a Maui type island? Not only do we have a tease of that island, but we have full confirmation. Unfortunately, right over here, added this update is a new billboard with the caption, "Where the known world ends." This billboard isn't just here. Like the last one, there's two of them. One of them is over here, right by the town of Haliwa. We also have one up here, much further away. The in-between of that would be like this area, I guess. But all the way over here, we have the same billboard facing the other way. Again, captioned, "Where the known world ends," with some interesting photos that we'll get into. Now, the thing is, last update, they actually delayed the island. Not only was it a much smaller island, it released in the second update of year 3, rather than the first update, like Maui did. This time, it seems like it's gonna be in the first update of year 4. Do you know what that means? Do you realize what that means? Let me put into perspective what that means. It's August 18th right now. Yeah, that means if this is releasing in the first update of the next year, we will be playing on this brand new island. And there's a reason I think it's going to be a Maui-sized full island. October 7th. That's not that far away. But what is this island, and why don't I think it's going to be a smaller sort of, you know, yeah, we added an island kind of island? Well, mostly because of, well, a few different things. One, look at it. If this is a brand new island, it's a full-on world island again. It's not just like a goofy, gimmicky island. It seems to actually have mountains and terrains and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure. Now, bear with me, because I'll explain why, and we've got tiers of confirmation, let's say. I believe that this unknown island that they have put the billboards for up here in Haliwa, well, all the way up north, what else is there? The island of Kauai, which has been there since the very start of the game. We have had that island over there. Now, the thing is, back when the game first started, we had two islands off the distance. We had Kauai all the way up there, and we had Maui. Both of those were in the distance as low-resolution, unconfirmed islands. People wanted it, but it looked more what they told me, actually. The devs actually told me, confirmed to me. Those lying devs, well, teasing devs, I guess, confirmed to me that those islands were just to make it look like Hawaii is a group of islands. Turned out, they definitely had a plan to add the islands. But when they added Maui as big as it was, and then they added Kaho as small as it was, I was worried that, oh dang, maybe we're not gonna get Kauai. Because I thought they would go with Kauai straight after Maui. It just felt like the obvious choice. But no, it seems like they did Kaho with the NASCAR island, much, much smaller, to buy themselves some time. See, it's clear that Motorfest is getting a brand new island right here, because also, again, with it being Kauai, let me confirm this. The thing is, we don't actually see what playlist is going to be there. We don't see what kind of gameplay we're going to get. There's no sort of NASCAR island. Then again, we didn't with Maui either until we saw the trailers. They confirmed it was JDM playlist and a police playlist that was going to introduce Maui. I wonder what that's going to be for this. What's going to be the main playlist and then likely the year 4 pass playlist. We don't know, but what we do know is what some of the scenery looks like. See, on the left, you have some canyons. Well, what happens when you search up Kauai canyons? You get Waimea. I'm probably mispronouncing that. The Waimea Canyon in Kauai. Kauai has a giant canyon area, and it seems like we're gonna get that. What's crazy to me about that, the only thing that gets me really hyped about this, and you're gonna see that for the other 2 places as well, is that this is a new thing. Maui had a few new types of places, the bamboo forests, the volcano being active, that big giant lifted area around the volcano, all of that kind of stuff. But this seems like it's gonna have even more varied terrain. It doesn't look like it's gonna be just an asset flip. We don't have a canyon in the current game. But if you search Kauai Canyon, you get Waimea Canyon, which looks sick. And then if we go back to cross-reference back in game, you can see dirt roads, you can see big giant logs, and giant bridges back there. This canyon, oh my gosh, I didn't even notice that. Okay, that looks exactly like a Motorfest bridge. I'm pretty sure that bridge is on this island somewhere as well. So it's in the middle of a giant canyon, which we have nothing like that right now. Then we move on to here. Oh, would you look at that? A swampy area. What if I told you if you search Kauai swamps, you get, where's the name? I know I saw the name. Kauai's Alakai, I'm so sorry to Hawaiians that I'm mispronouncing this, the Alakai Swamp Trail. There also seems to be a swamp in Kauai with the same sort of really watery areas with the same kind of trees that we see in that screenshot. A lot of this sort of wooden bridge stuff, which we're not really walking. We're going to be driving a lot of this, so I doubt we'll see this wood bridge. But Kauai also has a swamp. We don't, currently, in the Crew Motorfest, have any kind of swamp. I mean, again, I can also show you that we don't have any, canyons. I guess you could kind of... I mean, wait, is this literally called canyon? Is this a canyon? I guess we do have big mountains on both sides of a road, but we don't have what that was. And then, of course, we also don't have a swamp anywhere. I guess you could kind of look at this area, but no, this is very not swampy. That's more like islands. And the final place is pretty simple. I mean, it's more extreme than anywhere we've seen on the current island on Oahu or Maui. We've got the one big arch on Oahu, to be fair, but if you search Kauai Arch, you get the Honopu Beach, which has these giant archways which look identical to the one that we see, where it's a very small arch, but then a bunch of rocks above it, unlike the arch over in Honolulu, not Honolulu, the island, Oahu, that arch is like very thin rock the whole way. This one's a tiny arch, and then all the rock above it. So that also seems like, that seems like the 3 big landmarks that we know about in Kauai. There could be more, but because of this being at the top of the map, I leaned towards Kauai. And then when I searched all those names and saw that, oh, they all exist in Kauai, I was a bit more like, oh, they're actually gonna do Kauai. But you might still be doubtful. You might be like, Sid, what if they're doing something else? What if it's a different island? This is really far to the right, Sid. Maybe it's not Kauai. Also, I want you to know, you see this island over here? You see, if it is Kauai, hey, here's a fun fact. Maui, down at the bottom, was way, way bigger than the generic blank Maui that we had before Maui was added. So, I'm looking for a big Kauai. I can't believe we're finally getting it, and we're getting it so soon. so crazy soon. But what's the last major reason that I think it's kawaii? In fact, this one I think fully confirms it. Unfortunately, Amazon and Nintendo. What do I mean by that? Well, you might know that The Crew is releasing on the Nintendo Switch 2. And, well, if you go to Amazon and look for The Crew Motorfest on Switch 2 that you can pre-order, explore a vibrant Hawaiian open world set across the islands of Oahu, Maui, and Kauai. Join high-speed races, blah, blah, blah. That's all whatever. Yeah. It seems, and again, this is on the official Ubisoft store for Amazon. So unfortunately, someone either at Amazon or more realistically maybe just the description maker for Ubisoft, when they were making the description for the Crew Motorfest on Switch 2, only £36? That is dirt cheap. What? Hey, why you Switch 2 fellas getting it so cheap? What? This game, when they made the description, they confirmed kawaii. Ouch. Now, this isn't the last we're gonna be hearing about this, by the way. In September, they have confirmed that they will be doing the Crew Showcase. The yearly showcase that they hold is going to happen, and that's likely where they're going to reveal much, much more about this upcoming event. With, of course, that being basically right before it all drops in August. Assuming it's in August, because they've never teased an update, 2 updates before. I mean, they had construction for the Lowrider versus Donk stuff, but they had the update before. They had movie posters for the Hollywood update, the update before. They had this island, not 2 updates, even though technically it was a year 3 thing, but it came out in the middle of year 3, not at the start. They still only teased it 1 update into year 3, as in 1 update before it was actually added. They only tease things the update before. So I do think that in October, we're gonna be racing on the brand new island of Kauai with a canyon, with a swamp, and with some pretty beaches, I guess. That's kind of the one that I care about the least, right? Like a canyon. I mean, we've got cool beaches. Right, you know, we've got this arch. It'll just be that arch, but thinner. It's whatever. I want a giant canyon and I want a cool swamp. Please and thank you, Motorfest. Crazy to think that 4 years into this game, the map is getting even bigger. Do I think this is going to be the last map expansion? That's a genuine conversation that needs having. Because the only Hawaiian island left for them is the island of Hawaii. And well, a fun fact about the island of Hawaii is that it is literally bigger combined than, like, all of the islands. All of the islands together are not as big. Well, maybe. I don't know. Maybe on exact numbers it is. But the island of Hawaii is ginormous. If they did the island of Hawaii, that would be crazy. Right now, we've got Maui, we've got Molokai, we've got Lanai. I think we also have Kahaolawe. Oh! Like, I did not know that was based on a real island. This entire time, I thought this was a fake island. Okay. I had no idea Kaho'olawe was... Oh! But yeah, they added Molokai and Lanai, but they made them race creator islands, which kind of sucks. I mean, Lanai has a city. Lanai, oh, well, a town. And an airport, you know? Molokai has a town probably somewhere. Oh, maybe not. Okay, these are very blank islands. I guess the fact... But, oh, there you go. A town. They could have still put a town. Let us make race creator races around this town. I mean, Kaho'olawe, they gave this a NASCAR stadium, a bunch of... The people of Kaho'olawe know what they did to their island? Oh, there doesn't really seem to be many people of Kaho'olawe. Yeah, interesting. Kauai, we also have Ihau, which I wonder if they'll do, because they did all the small islands by Maui, so they could do all of these small islands. Also, this, which they've got a lot of these, to be fair. I think if we are ever to see the island of Hawaii, it's not going to be for a while. I think there's a world in which we don't get an island next year. Maybe we don't even get an island the year after that, but if it's been that long, just release the next game at that point. Because it would be so nice to get the island of Hawaii. It would be so sick to get this island as the final send-off, the final year or two of the Crew Motorfest. I just don't think, because it would have to be huge. I mean, in real life, Kauai is bigger than Oahu. I wonder if they'll make it this big. Maui and Oahu are, like, pretty accurately scaled. If you look at it, Oahu is definitely bigger than it should be, but Maui is close. Maui should be bigger, way bigger, but I think Oahu's just too big. Kauai is tiny when it should be huge. Just like everyone, I want them to do one last big island, because, you know, no one loses there. So that would be nice. It would be sick to get the island of Hawaii, but I think it's unrealistic, I'm afraid. I think this last Kauai island, if it's as varied as it looks, if it's as big as I hope, then I don't think they have the dev time between now and the next game left. The Crew 2 lasted till year 5, I think, was when they added when they announced Motorfest, and then technically a little bit into year 6 was when the last few updates were. Something like that. I'm getting a bit foggy on my knowledge. I think Kauai comes out, we get a year more of updates, and then they don't add an island for that last year. They tease the next game. But I think Motorfest has longevity. I gotta be honest, I think Motorfest has legs. Do I say something absolutely crazy? Like I think that Motorfest could actually last maybe even 4 more years if they added the island of Hawaii and it was big and only took like 1 year off of adding new islands because, well, they have to because they're out of islands. The only island they have... I cannot believe that I just discovered that Kaho'olaui is actually a real Hawaiian island that they just added a bunch of stuff to. And they did the opposite to Molokai and Lanai, where they removed a bunch of stuff from. But yeah, they're literally out of real-world islands. I thought that this was a fake island, so I was like, oh, they'll just do another fake island. But no, this is a real island. Unless they're going to do Molokai and Lanai, which they could, because these islands literally don't matter to the race creator at all. In fact, it wouldn't be the first time they redid them, because this island and this island was originally Molokai and Lanai, and then they went, oh, whoopsie, we kind of used up real-world islands and wasted them as nothing, so instead we'll waste them as nothing. I think take a year off the Crew, come back, do the island of Hawaii, maybe a year and a half after Kauai, and then run the game for at least 2 years after. And you got, and then with that, you have the most insane racing game. Like, literally, I think if they did that, the Crew Motorfest would be genuinely the best racing game to pick up. With how cheap it is, with how much stuff we would have by then, the fact that they're upping the amount of playlists they're adding by changing the update schedule to every 3 months, meaning minimum 4 playlists a year, likely 5 because of the year 3 pass, maybe throw in 1 more because sometimes they do add extra playlists, but I don't know if they're going to do that with the new 3-month system. So like 5 new playlists a year? No, 6 new playlists a year using those numbers. 4 from updates, 1 from the year pass, and 1 little extra bonus. In like 3 years, this game would have near 50 playlists plus all of the extra stuff they add, like rivals, stories if they do more of those, any new gimmick they think of, all of that custom mode, all of the challenges. Dang, man. The Crew Motorfest is quite the game. And when they add that offline mode, do that instead of adding the island of Hawaii, and then you can delay it, and then you add the offline mode. That's big enough. Then you add the island of Hawaii the year after. This game, I see the vision, okay? In like 2037, you'll be able to go into a store and you'll see the Crew Motorfest, all the year passes edition. It'll have the year 1 through 7 pass, and you can buy it for like £20. That'll be the most insane steal of any racing game ever, price-wise, content-wise, and I'm excited for that. I know that everything after the Kauai Island has started rambling, but I think I had some fun stuff to say. So that's gonna be all for me. Thank you so much for watching. Are you excited for the Kauai Island? I'll see you boys in the next one in a bit. Oh, by the way, that new Raymond RC car, it's going to be crew credit only, so you're going to have to pay real world money for it. Ouch. I don't know what they're going to do with that kind of stuff. I guess we'll see.